role of campus ministries at an institution like Dominican is kind of literally and figuratively central, because it's the heart of who we are and what we do.
All of the buildings, the whole campus is really embedded with our Dominican influence.
You think about the Dominican sisters and their legacy at the university, study, service, community, reflection, everything that they infuse into what this university should be. Campus ministry holds on to that.
That vision is still continuing on in campus ministry today. It's not the same way, but we've really developed a program that has moved with the university.
It's essential for them to be able to go beyond their elementary understanding of religion, to have a more scholarly and more adult perspective.
Campus ministry has brought me to people who help me to have conversations on that. Just recently, we were able to have an interfaith panel. It was a very amazing night where people were able to shed light on multiple faiths and very important questions that were not being asked on campus.
Students, as they're going through college, there's so many questions and there's so many different interactions that they have that can shape them and that can create a dissonance within what they believe and how they act. And one thing that campus ministry does is help them to sort through those things and to reflect in ways that bring them to a better understanding of who they are and what they believe in and how they want to live their lives. And I think that that's one of the most important things going through college that they can learn how to do for the rest of their lives.
I think that the alternate spring break trips are really great. My biggest piece of advice is to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Really, it was shocking to see how they've tried to make the border look so peaceful and so nice with all the art pieces that are there. But if you really sit there and look at them, you notice that some of them are very hopeful and some are like, welcome to this land, and others are like, this is where dreams die.
Different things that I saw in my own family, but then didn't realize why that was so much of a struggle until I got to Habitat for Humanity, was really inspiring for me and caused me to want to come back home and just like thank my parents completely, because it was something that I just didn't realize was such a struggle for people in general here in the United States.
But to go specifically for the service aspect, and that's the motivation, that's something unique. That's something I haven't seen, at least writ large, at a lot of the other schools that I've worked. That really impacted and affected me in terms of who is the Dominican student.
And I think that service is really habitual. And once you get into the habit of kind of like, going on these trips or, doing something regularly, that's when it really begins to impact and become part of your life, where you can see things through the lens of how can I uplift and empower this community.
They are at a formative stage, and this is where we have a real opportunity to be able to interject some of that precious and distinctive Dominican spirituality. And so by that I mean not just the four pillars, but also reading the signs of the times and contemplating and really understanding a particular issue deeply, not just intellectually, experientially, spiritually, and going forth and preaching about that, which is so distinctly Dominican.
We have an extreme amount of privilege here in the United States, and the way that we vote, or if we choose not to vote, affects the kinds of decisions that our country needs to make. And those decisions then affect the children that I interacted with in El Salvador, and affects whether or not they get to grow up and they get to live their dreams. As part of the Hunger and Homelessness Project, we had a lot of our different events that we did really opened up into the community, going to the church and helping out with doing the food and putting on a dinner for them was really important in terms of our outreach to the community. And then having students sleep outside for the night was really where our outreach for Dominican happened. And then in terms of our immigration project, what I really wanted was to do is to educate people and to really have them as educated voters, to show them, in this election year in November, how important it is to know about the policies that we have, and then what policies that our candidates are going to put forward. So that was really important. And I learned a lot from it.
The El Salvador trip convinced me that my passion is more with the immigrant people and with immigrant rights. My thesis will now be encompassing my family's immigrant narratives. I am analyzing the politics of the immigration system from Central America to the U.S. And beyond that, after this year, I will be attending the George School of Law, focusing on immigration law, hopefully doing some pro bono work.
It would be great to be able to expand some of the work that we do with, whether it's Homeward Bound or some of the alternative spring break trips. They're so natural to our institutional identity, and because it's so powerful, not only for students but for the community, and I think it makes a real difference in that. The larger sense is really the cultivation and the honoring of our history and the assurance that that is also our soul going forward.